Cue the music, let's go. I'm your boy Ro, managing editor for the new OBB Legend. Come check us out. And OG member of the Orange Bowl Boys, and welcome to X's and Ro, the series where you ask the question and we provide the answers, sometimes even good ones. First question comes in, and it came in early. I appreciate the effort, Abe Gata. Is the patented Rick sideline pre-snap check a waste of time, or am I conditioned to see Rhett's all gas and no brakes mentality? I even remembered the edit. There you go. Gabe, I don't think it's a waste of time. Now, I will say this. Anything done in overabundance on a football field typically starts to work against you, and I didn't feel like the University of Miami did check with me constantly, right? They did it sparingly, and when they did it, a lot of times it worked. So right here, it's going to zoom in, so you're going to see this, but Tyler comes in, fakes a dummy count. Now, let me stop that right there. By doing that, it also keeps the defensive line from jumping constantly, right? They're going to constantly try to find that advantage, and if you have a rhythmic pentameter where you're basically always snapping at the same time, the ball's always snapped, they're going to jump, they have the advantage. So I like doing that because it's essentially like a dummy count as well, if we can agree there. Now he looks at the sideline, they have a check, something on film, something that they anticipated, and I believe they felt that they had a one-on-one matchup on the outside that they can exploit. It was man coverage out there, so that's what they decided to do. 3rd and 8, you look at it, you check with me. Next thing you know, you look at the top of the screen, man coverage. Should have been simple offense, should have been a completion. Now, quarterback potentially throws a bad ball. Did the wide receiver run his route exactly the way he did in practice? I don't know. It could have been either a combination of both. Either way, the play was there. That was an execution thing. That was an example of check with me actually working, and I actually like it sparingly. And these questions come in from a couple OBB Legend heavy hitters. We got Steve Kim and Tony Valdez, and you guys are on like the same wavelength this morning. Steve asks, would you employ more spread stuff like Lashley stuff to make TVD a bit more comfortable? And Tony asks, what are some easily transferable play concepts from Lashley's system that Gattis can implement to help TVD get comfortable? It's all about getting TVD comfortable this morning. So let's go over to the film. Let's go to last year, shall we? This was North Carolina State. This is when I felt Tyler started to take that jump, that metamorphosis of what he was the first couple of weeks under center till now. Yes, this is a spread concept, nothing hard. Now, Mike Harley's going to obliterate this linebacker in the slot. By spreading it out sometimes, you can go ahead and isolate a mismatch a little bit easier. And there you go. He's just going to go ahead and take a simple corner out. That linebacker never had a chance. On the next play, something I do feel that we could do. This is going to be an RPO. North Carolina State's going to bring a wholesale blitz, leave cover 0 on the back end, no safeties. And I remember this play vividly. So there you go. It's a pin and pull variety. This side of the line's pinning. This is pulling. Tyler had the opportunity to give this in the running game, but he didn't. He pulls it because it's a one-on-one matchup. Now, I know this is Charleston Rambo, and this is the challenge to the wide receiver room. Is Charleston wide open here? Not even close. Does he have a lot of separation here? Not even close. But you know what? He had the continuity. He had the chemistry, and he makes the play. So those are some things that I feel like you can, with the spread game, some more RPO elements can get Tyler comfortable. I'll go over to this year, and this is kind of like the nitpick in me. This was the Texas A&M game, 3-by-1 look. Nothing earth-shattering. Yes, there's the goal to go there. But when you have this running back kind of like leak out into the flats, and I know he's kind of like a blitz beater, but he's away from this side where the quarterback's reading. I love it when the checkdowns are in view of the quarterback. So if you don't feel like that's there, you necessarily have something right here that you could check to. So that's something to get a quarterback comfortable. When the play is not there and they're not working, is there something in view of that quarterback that could be like easy money? Get the easy money, increase the RPOs, maybe some more spread elements. But right, this offense will click because we've seen it last year, the more Tyler gets comfortable. This question comes in from Daniel Thames at Dan Thames. What do you think seems to be the disconnect in the passing game? I would think that Gattis might emphasize the passing game versus MTU to get the confidence back on track between TVD and the wide receiver because the run game is solid. Yes, the run game is solid. What do you think seems to be the disconnect in the passing game? I've never put this many clips back-to-back on an X's and Row series before. But it's a lot of everything. So let's go. Rapid fire. First things first, this is the end of the game, Daniel. And wide receivers, well, you got to go ahead and run this down the line. You have to have crisp routes. When Brashard Smith leaks upfield, 4th and 4, can't have that happen. So that's one. Next one, well, you don't have anybody winning the 50-50 balls that you had from a year ago. You haven't seen this yet. 3 games in, here's a one-on-one ball, Charleston Rambo, Bang. So nobody's winning the 50-50. Here, well, drops. You got to catch this ball. This is a first down. You got to decrease on the drops because the passing game inefficiency, well, that's a big key right there. Now, this is just continuity between quarterback and wide receiver. This has to be completed. Either we got to come out of our routes a little bit more crisper again, or we have to go ahead and solidify what we're doing on down and distance. All right, next one. Here you go. Even when we do have this completion mechanically, quarterback's footwork needs to be in line here. Where is it? Where is it going? I'll tell you exactly where it's going. It's going out here towards the sideline. You're trying to throw across your body. Even though that was a completion, there's other examples on film where it led to incompletions. And finally, inside the red zone, well, this is Gattis. Now, I know he said we didn't want to go ahead and pass into 8-man fronts, but essentially this is an 8-man box. They have no respect for you. RPO down inside the red zone. These are all one-on-one matchups. Like we said previously, nobody's winning that one-on-one matchup. So it's a little bit of everything, not just one thing. And this question comes in from Jackie Daytona on Twitter, and it starts with an apology. I apologize for not getting in on the latest Ask Row segments. But you did. But I do have a question. Do you think TVD was a better fit for Lashley's offense as opposed to Gattis? And that could be part of the issue, or is it a deeper and a combination of TVD's mechanics, execution, etc.? Let's tackle the last part of your question first, and that is, yeah, there were some things mechanically from a quarterback perspective with the front foot that kind of got us a little out of phase, and I think Tyler would be willing to admit that. But again, too, wide receivers, they have to run their routes at specific depths. It's called quarterback drop to wide receiver route relationships, right? So, Jackie, very simple. If I take a gun and I only take one step back, well, that's not going to work if my wide receiver's 7 to 8 to 10 yards downfield because I'm going to be ready to throw the ball before he ever gets out of his break. And that actually kind of arose on the last play of the game for the University of Miami Hurricanes on offense. And wide receiver drops is going to be a big factor. But specifically what I felt Tyler did really well last year that maybe could help out this year, let's go to Texas A&M, shall we? And I strategically put the clip where Tyler has the ball, right, in the running back's belly. And what you'll see is when we start this clip, okay, you see where the safeties drop down into the box? Well, now this safety's a free hitter. Nobody's there to block him. He's going to go ahead and swallow this play up. So they really don't have any kind of respect for something that I felt Lashley and TVD did really, really well last year. Same concept, right? Look, Jackie, ball's in the belly of the beast. Look at guys coming downhill. But watch what TVD under the previous system was able to do. Look where his vision is. He sees that. And there's an in-breaking slant right behind it. Nothing radical, nothing revolutionary. And look at the effectiveness of that play. That was something I wanted to carry forth from last year, the ability to have that post-snap window, because especially when you have a running game as good as it is under Gattis, which should be commended, you're going to have opportunities like this if you choose to take it. I really appreciated this question, and I think I found something that validates what you were seeing and thinking. Apologize up front if I butcher this name, but this is coming in from @AgioGut1983 on Twitter. OC passing has info processing issue. Interesting. Pre-snap, TVD tries to draw coverage with fake snaps. Gattis reads coverage from box, chooses play. It's relayed. Then actual snap, leaves no time to process mentally. Team not comfortable with scheme yet. Thoughts? Well, let's go over to the tape, shall we? Now, look, this is exactly what you're talking about. Tyler's looking over to the sideline, getting a play relayed from the booth. It's the right play. It's the right read. I think we can agree there, but I want you to focus on a couple things. Here we go. Watch the quarterback drop from Tyler. It's going to be gun 3, 1, 2, 3, hitch, ball out. All right? We saw that clear as day because that's gonna be pivotal later. Key at the top of the route, he was at 49 yards, and then he's going to come back to 50. Look where the line of scrimmage is, so let's count it out. 1, 2, 3, that's 3 yards right there. Between the 40 and the 50, that's 13 yards. He was at the 49, so he's running the route 14 back to 13. This looks like this is 1 yard off. Can we agree there as well? All right, so let's go no check with me at this one and watch. Pay attention to the line of scrimmage. Let's pay attention to the quarterback drop here. 1, 2, 3, hitch, ball out. Okay. Much more succinct, much more in rhythm. There's a first down, okay? Now let's back this up because we remembered on the first play. Let's look at the line of scrimmage. There it is. Let's look at the apex of his drop. There it is. So 11 plus 10 plus 2. So now we're 13 back to 12. Remember I said we were 1 yard off? One of them had check with me. One of them didn't. The end result is we have to line up our quarterback drop to receiver route relationship. It was 1 yard off. You might be onto something. This is definitely getting the Twitter handle of the week award. Andy H. at Andy Whole Wheat on Twitter. Attaboy. Under what circumstances would it be okay to call a QB sweep with TVD? I think I have an answer for that. Let's go over to the Texas A&M side first. Now, there's things that go on to a game. You got to keep the defensive lineman honest. Now, Miami got victimized. This is the first play out of the half from Jimbo Fisher. Now, you could ask the same question. Under what circumstances would you want to run with Mac Johnson? This is why. Pay attention right here. Defensive end, watch where he goes. Immediately crashes in. There it is. QB keeps. That was intentional. You got to at least give him the threat of that. In that case, it paid well for the Texas A&M Aggies. Now let's go over to when you asked TVD to go ahead and carry the ball. Now, once he puts the ball in there is a reaction. They are going ahead and intently going after the Rooster. Here you go. Stop. See how the flow went over to the Rooster? Now assume with me, this is another reason to answer your question, under what circumstances. If we could have kept this block, right, you have essentially a hat for a hat. Keep the block, lead blocker in front. Will Mallory gets his defender to the ground. We just lost this at the point of attack, right? We had the numbers. It was there. That was execution. So hopefully those are examples of why you want to run with the quarterback. Even though they're not the most mobile, you still got to keep teams honest. And this is the last clip of the evening, and it's coming in from Bryce Nelson at Bryce_Nelson15 on Twitter. I heard someone on the pod mention it's harder to run RPO out of power sets. That sounds like something I would say, but I can't either confirm or deny such things. Is this true for this system in particular, or just with what Mario wants to do? So what is it that Mario wants to do? Well, he brought a power man blocking style system to the University of Miami, one in which it requires you to get to the second level a lot of times, especially if there's no one on top of you, because it's going to give you an advantage to go ahead and seal that second level off. Okay, so let's see an example of this. And I love this play. And pause. I don't want you to think that we need to abandon these style of run plays, because a mix of everything is great. And this was a great play by the University of Miami, because pay attention to Will Mallory. Will Mallory's selling like he's coming inside. It brings his linebacker in just enough that one step, and then he can leverage this back outside, gets a good block. Parrish goes in the outside. Now stop. When Will Mallory is 5 yards and it's physical and he's getting to the second level, you can't put an RPO attachment because this is a legal man downfield. All right? So that's probably where the statement you heard. Now we'll come over to last year. This is an actual RPO run as well. You know how you can tell? Just look at this part right here. See this bubble? These guys are shooting out. And look at the offensive line. Are they aggressive getting to the second level? No, because they can't. Because if they do, if he went free release here, it's a legal man downfield. They're going to give you a few yards, but not that many. And then next thing you know, we get a big chunk yardage in that style of system. So that's what we meant. Hopefully that gave clarification. Thank you for all the questions this week. I'm your boy Ro, managing editor for the new OBB Legend. Come check this out. This series is going to be over there. Bang.